has her sit down and gives her a sealed scroll, telling her to hold on to it. He begins with Howie Mandel, giving him a coin and an antibacterial wipe. He asks Howie to hide the coin behind his back, and of the name Oscar. Here is where you'll find some. It comes down to one single point that could possibly David Copperfield's black box illusion. Copperfield starts off his illusion by walking around a black box, while his assistants open it up, removing the lid and showing that it's completely empty. After proving it's empty, the box is reconstructed, the lid placed back on top, and at the same time, Copperfield takes a red-colored cloth and places it over the front open side of the box. A figure then appears inside the cloth and walks off to the left side of the stage. Then, from the same empty box, another figure appears, this time underneath a blue-colored cloth, and walks off to the right side of the stage. After that, Copperfield walks up into the box, places the cloth over it again, and a third figure, now under the blue cloth, walks forward to the front of the stage. Copperfield then closes himself inside the box. Then, one by one, the first two cloths are removed to reveal two female assistants, and the third one reveals that Copperfield has teleported and is now standing in the audience up front. After that, the lid of the box is removed once again, the entire thing is twisted around, and when it's opened, it reveals three dogs that have magically appeared out of nowhere. Now, since the entire premise of the illusion revolves around assistants and animals appearing inside an isolated black box, our first question is, how did they get inside the black box? One obvious conclusion we might make is that they are simply hiding inside it. But that would only be possible if the only people that appeared from inside the box were the two female assistants, since we're familiar with different props that allow assistants to hide in the false bottom temporarily. But even if we believe they are hidden within the box, it still doesn't make sense, because first of all, if you view from the audience's perspective, they are directly able to see underneath the box, so the base can't be elastic. And when the box is opened up, there's nowhere near enough room to hide in the base, let alone enough room for the three dogs along with the two female assistants. This leads us to believe that since the closest thing to the box is the very floor that it is placed on, it's quite possible that the moment the curtain covers up the box, the assistants actually appear from a trapdoor on the stage, one that only opens up when the red cloth is covering the view of the audience sitting in the front. The second thing that might support this observation is the fact that once the lid of the box is taken off, it is placed on the floor, potentially hiding that very trapdoor from being visible from the top angle over here when the camera moves around. But once again, this method would only be possible for the first woman who appeared under the red cloth. As for the woman who appeared under the blue one, we get a side view clearly showing underneath the box. Some of you might even suspect that the base simply has mirrors that only give the illusion that the space underneath the box is empty, whereas it just blocks off what's behind it, similar to the vanishing and appearing rabbit trick that was performed in Now You See Me, or the half-man illusion. Now, for the Now You See Me vanishing and reappearing rabbit trick, a mirror that is placed diagonally reflects the patterns on the base of the box, giving the illusion that the box is empty. Now, in this case, notice that the mirror only works if patterns exist. And at bare minimum, three sides of the box, in this case the left, right, and the bottom, are enclosed to help sell the illusion. One that is only visible from the front. Similarly, the famous illusion at the State Fair in Texas, where Fair Barker appears to be missing half of his body while balanced on a rod, also uses mirrors that are placed at an angle. In his case, two of them are placed perpendicular to each other, and this rod is placed right in front where the two mirrors meet. Once again, you'll notice the patterns on the sides of the box are utilized. Since the mirrors are placed to reflect those patterns, the same pattern exists on the opposite walls inside the box. You might wonder how the rest of his body is positioned. Well, it's positioned like so. He's simply standing, with the curtain in the background placed behind his actual body so that the illusion works from the front, but the bottom edges of the two mirrors are still visible right over here. In Copperfield's case, this concept simply wouldn't work. As you can see, placing a mirror diagonally or even using two mirrors angled together wouldn't create the right effect. You just wouldn't be able to see the reddish grid wall in the background because the mirrors would end up blocking the wall. Similarly, there's another illusion performed by Chris Angel called the vanishing in the junkyard illusion, where he vanishes off a plank that's balanced in the middle of a junkyard setup. Now, I've actually covered this trick before, and in case you haven't seen it, here's how it works. At first glance, it looks like you can see right underneath the platform he's standing on, which makes it seem like there's no place for him to hide, but in reality, a mirror is used to create the illusion. What we think we're seeing beneath the platform is actually just a reflection of what's positioned in front of Chris Angel, which includes a garbage can and an assistant wearing duplicate clothing, helping him vanish behind the angled mirror. So basically, the entire trick is staged with stooges only to fool the camera. But remember, Copperfield here is performing for an audience. Plus, we even get a wide-angle shot showing both the audience and the box. This completely eliminates any method of them appearing from underneath the stage, which leads us to suspect something suspicious about that very wall in the background. Notice that the box has been placed close to the wall from the very beginning, even though there's plenty of space on stage to move it closer to the audience. Secondly, when the box is fully opened up, you'll notice it's positioned right in front of a specific rectangle on the patterned wall, one that perfectly matches the height of the box and is positioned in the middle too. Although it appears as a coincidence, but if we take into consideration the fact that the audience is seated to view only from the front, they obviously don't get a side angle view of something extruding out of the back of the wall to connect to the box, similar to Sacred Rihanna's demon summoning illusion. In fact, Sacred Rihanna's trick is inspired by David Copperfield's black box illusion. In that trick, similar to Copperfield, she shows all around the box and even opens it up, showing it's empty. But we spot a hinge in the back that gives away that the back can be opened and gives access to that very grid-patterned wall in the back where the zombies crawl into the box from. Now, since Copperfield does move the camera around at an angle to show the backside while he's making his assistants appear inside the cloth, he would have to use an advanced version, one that requires a mirror, as in a retractable hollow mirror block that would look something like this, popping out straight from the wall in the back and connecting to the back of the box. And if you pay attention to the design of the box, you can spot right over here, this flap would open inwards, acting as a clear pathway for the tube to connect with the box. Here the concept of the patterned wall is taken advantage of. As the grid or wall pattern reflects off the mirror, it creates the illusion that we're able to see right through the backside as well, making the retractable hollow mirror block almost invisible. So the audience seated on the far ends of the seating arrangement will be fooled just the same. Once the box is reassembled, the tube connects to the back of the box, the flap opens, and the first woman assistant gets into the red cloth and walks off to the left side of the stage while staying underneath it. Then the second woman gets under the blue cloth when Copperfield covers the box, and she walks off to the right side of the stage while still hidden. After that, Copperfield's look-alike, that is, someone wearing sunglasses to hide his face as best as possible, switches with Copperfield when the cloth is pulled over him. This is simply done by Copperfield having his look-alike, who is crouched behind him, stand up the moment the cloth is lifted. The look-alike positions his hands right beside where Copperfield's hands are, while Copperfield lets go, crouches down, and slips under the blue cloth. And this switch can be seen happening right over here. After which, Copperfield walks forward inside the blue cloth, while the assistant is the one who closes the top of the lid of the box. And for the finale, while each of the assistants and Copperfield reveal themselves, the box is loaded with the three dogs and moved away from the back wall, then twisted all the way around, giving a convincing gesture that there's nothing connected to it, and the dogs apparently appeared out of nowhere.
That's all for today. Our tale of secrets ends here. Until we meet again.
The dream you'll be most proud.
It's called Walter Dean's P.T. Selvig Improvement on the Mirror Tunnel, Howard Thurston's Million Dollar Mystery, Doug Hennings's Things That Go Bump in the Night, Copperfield's Video to Life Illusion, 13 People Vanish, CBS Camera Vanish, based on Paul Daniels' Camera Vanish, but Paul Daniels is different than Copperfield. Even Paul Daniels said it. And because Paul Daniels said Copperfield used a different method. And he gave permission for Copperfield to perform it. And Doug Henning did the same version of Paul Daniels, but in his own style. Although Paul Daniels did something different, but Doug Henning had a different way of doing it, but still used the same method, mirrors. But and when he did the Vanishing Elephant, Doug Henning, he used mirrors. It's a big mirror tunnel. Even though they show in the back all around, when they come up in front, that's when they slide the mirror tunnel. And coupled with the big black box of it's a mirror tunnel. Even Mitch Leary mentioned it. Light bends. Nowadays you could use a clear glass or plastic that's able to hold weight of a human being and animals and really show the back. Because light bends around an object, like you stick a pencil in the water and it reflects in the water. Light bends. Guy Kramer's Hyper Stealth Corp, bending light, invisibility, nanobots, metamaterials, invisibility, added with 3D cloaking.